So this thing about Puffy being arrested.
For years, Wendy was trying to expose Diddy. And now, even though she hasn't spoken publicly much since her dementia diagnosis, she finally spoke out about Diddy's arrest. And it's no surprise that she had only bad things to say about him. Throughout her career, she's made it clear that she's not a fan of his, and she's called him out a bunch of times. And you're not going to believe what she's just said about him and the real reason why she never even liked him to begin with. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Wendy shared that the Diddy investigation was a long time coming. When she was asked about how she felt about the news, she simply said that it was about time. Wendy described the CCTV footage of Diddy brutally hurting his ex Cassie back in 2016 as being horrific. She went on to say, but now you have to think, how many more times? How many people? How many more women? It's just so horrible. I mean, it really is a terrifying thought and difficult to answer too, because more and more lawsuits and allegations keep being brought against him. Wendy revealed that lots of people have been telling her that she called it, including some of her own family members. Over the years, she's never been shy when it comes to criticizing Diddy or throwing shade his way, which I think is pretty brave because of the kind of power that Diddy used to have in the industry. Going up against him could put a celebrity's career at risk. It's probably why so many people who'd maybe had bad experiences with him in the past are only speaking out about them now that Diddy is safely behind bars. Social media users have also been commenting about how Wendy knew about the real Diddy all along. One person shared that they missed Auntie Wendy because no one did Hot Topics like she did. They claimed that they could almost hear her going off on Diddy and telling her viewers that she told them so. Somebody else said that people shouldn't forget that Wendy told everyone exactly who Diddy was back in 1998, which was 26 years ago. And the third user wrote that she'd always known and tried to tell the world many times. They added that they hoped she was doing better. The Wendy Williams show ran for 13 years before going off the air in the summer of 2022. In 2021, Wendy left the show because of health problems, like being diagnosed with aphasia, a disorder that affects how people communicate. The ex-TV host told the Daily Mail that she was doing good, though. The outlet also covered a story about how a clip from an old interview between Wendy and Diddy on her show had started making the rounds on social media because of their cringy interaction. And knowing what we know now, there's a moment in the clip that is honestly a little disturbing to watch. In 2017, the rapper went on the show to promote one of his movies. At one point in the interview, Wendy brought up that she was the mother of a 16-year-old. Before she could finish her sentence, Diddy interrupted her to say that he'd met her son, Kevin Hunt Jr., backstage, and he thought that he was a great young man. Wendy quickly thanked him for the compliment, but then seemed to lose her train of thought and began stumbling over her words as Diddy just stared back at her. As you can probably guess, a lot of people online had something to say about the awkward moment between them. Someone claimed that the way she hesitated was a sign that she knew about Diddy. Another person commented that it was a threat. He was telling Wendy to play nice. A third user added that it looked like her mind was quickly flipping through all the different horrifying things that could have happened backstage. It does make you wonder how much Wendy really knows about the kind of person that Diddy is. It's pretty obvious that she saw another side to him that the public hadn't until now. So it makes sense that she wouldn't trust him. She was one of the first people to openly speak about how Diddy reportedly manipulated Cassie. In Touch Weekly reported that when the two broke up in 2015, the TV personality brought up the topic on her show and claimed that Diddy could use his money and influence to stay in his ex's life. She said that it would have been really difficult for Cassie to avoid him because she'd never know when Diddy was going to pop up out of nowhere. She went on to allege that he could just hire a plane whenever he wanted, land on the roof of the hotel she was staying at, and pay people off at the front desk to give him a key so that he could let himself into her room. Wendy's reportedly been anti-Diddy since the 90s. According to In Touch, she was super clear about the way she felt about him in her 2004 memoir, The Wendy Williams Experience. She said that she had a certain level of contempt for Diddy and even alleged that he single-handedly tried to ruin her career. But what did she mean when she said that Diddy wanted to destroy her career? It's honestly such a crazy story, and it shows that the bad blood between them has been around for a long time. It was actually Charlamagne the God from The Breakfast Club who revealed what really went down between the two. He spoke about it on an episode of Andrew Schultz's Flagrant podcast, per In Touch. So get this. Wendy used to work for the radio station Hot 97 in the late 90s, until one day she mysteriously got let go. According to Charlamagne, Diddy was the one behind it. He claimed that back then, Wendy was making the allegation that Diddy was gay. He went on to allege that Wendy got fired because she was spreading that rumor, and Diddy's label, Bad Boy Records, was so powerful at the time that he had the influence to get her off the radio for it.
That's when Bad Boy was smoking hot.
Wow.
And yeah, she got fired for putting that out there.
In 1997, she reportedly promoted a supposedly edited photo of Diddy being intimate with a guy. She was suspended after that, and then, a year later, she ended up losing her job. But Charlamagne was not the only one who backed the story up. Diddy's ex-bodyguard, Gene Deal, also claimed that it was Diddy's fault that Wendy was let go. On an episode of the Art of Dialogue podcast, Gene alleged that Diddy had a lot of power with the radio stations in New York at that time. In his version of events, Gene didn't mention Wendy by name, but he said that one of the hottest DJs from Hot 97 got fired because she wanted to share a picture of Diddy getting his pants pulled down. He claimed that his former boss called up the radio station and said that if they didn't get rid of her before he got back to New York, they wouldn't get any music from any of his friends or any of the record label executives that he was close to. Everyone would boycott their station. Obviously, this information isn't coming from the source, and Wendy hasn't gone into the details about how Diddy supposedly tried to ruin her career, but it's clear that something serious must have gone down, which would explain why Wendy is one of the many people who believe that Diddy is getting the karma that he deserves. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Did Wendy know all along about Diddy's dark side? Was she trying to warn us? And do you think that he already did try to end her career when he found out about the stuff she was saying about him on air? Let me know in the comments below.